it's very important to us that we're finding the right people to support this program, in this, this wonderful program, in this fantastic facility, so that the whole program lifts itself up. And as I said, continues to grow at the rate which the demand is there from the students who want to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
Well said.
You know, one of the things that's so amazing about what WSDG designed for our facility in downtown Phoenix is that this is the first really world-class recording studio in the Phoenix area. We have a lot of great recording studios, but this is just a different caliber.
Patrick, Mark, thank you for being here. From all the way from Phoenix, Arizona State University, with college in Phoenix. We worked on a studio there. Can you tell us a little bit about the spaces, where they're located, what kind of rooms we have there?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much, Pietro. Appreciate talking to you today. So this studio, I'm not really even quite sure how Arizona State University and WSDG initially got together to collaborate on this project, but when we found out that WSDG was involved, we were absolutely ecstatic. 8 years designing the brand new popular music program at Arizona State, and brand new facility in downtown Phoenix, which is the home to the studio at Fusion on First, and watching that come together over all those years and then physically becoming real, being built out. Absolute pleasure to open that studio, bring the students in, start teaching in there, start making, start inspiring, start recording. Absolutely gorgeous space. It sounds fantastic.
Thank you.
Couldn't be happier with it. It's a pleasure to be a part of it.
We're also very happy and proud about it. And how did you see this space come together, and the reaction and impact that it had on the students and also the faculty of ASU, and how it opened up new possibilities of what to teach, what the students can do? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. Well, I'd start by saying the possibilities and the paths that this has created for students in the Phoenix area who have joined the popular music program has been immense. The impact has been absolutely huge for our students. In fact, sitting with us, Mark Wetzel started as a popular music student, so I'll let you answer that question, that impact of going through the program and then, working with us after you graduated.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's kind of. Hello, Mark. Nice to see you again.
Hey, Mark.
Hey. It was pretty amazing that this was even accessible to me, because I thought that to have access to a studio of that caliber, I'd need to find my way into some sort of internship or something, and I'd have to move out to LA, and it'd be some whole big life-changing process, and it just didn't seem feasible or attainable.
Right, it's something that you might do after college and at the beginning of your career.
It was something down the road, not something I could get and grab right then and there. And when I was doing the research and I found out that the popular music program existed, I was like, you gotta be kidding me, this is amazing. I was like, what? I was like, that'd be for us? That's for us to play with?
Yeah.
And so having that access and learning this information on this incredible studio helped equip me for all sorts of different other recording experiences that I've done to this point now, and then continuously for the future, which is amazing, because it's an excellent studio, and it basically prepares me for just about any level of complexity that I could expect to experience going forward, which is awesome. It's giving me all the equipment that I need and all the tools that I need up here, and so yeah.
Right.
One of the things that's so amazing about what WSDG designed for our facility in downtown Phoenix is that this is the first really world-class recording studio in the Phoenix area. We have a lot of great recording studios, but this is just a different caliber. So the fact that our students get to learn in a space like this, and then additionally that we're open commercially to the public. So we have clients coming in from outside of the university family, and a lot of clients from within the university family who are doing real projects and recording real releases and really quality music.
And that's
in the studio.
It's extremely valuable for the college to be able to bridge that gap between the university world and the real world studio, and that's technically bringing the students right out of into the real world.
Precisely, and the current students and the continuing students who have gone through the program already are working on these sessions. And they're getting hands-on with like real. It's not a classroom; it is real job training in the studio in real sessions, and it's absolutely phenomenal. I think there's not much else like it, and there's certainly not much else like it going on in the Phoenix market right there. So it's absolutely fabulous.
That's fantastic. And I think also from a teacher's perspective, a space like that enables you to teach and run sessions in ways that are not easy to explain if you don't have the tools right at hand.
Oh, precisely.
And the space is
precisely
there, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's all theoretical without that, right? There's certain things you can do, right? Lots of ways to teach audio engineering and recording technique and miking techniques, but to be able to apply it in a world-class studio with incredible acoustics and design and communication and equipment, that's just a whole other level of learning in a studio.
I can totally speak to that because I feel like these days a lot of people are getting everything online, and I don't want to go down a huge tangent rabbit hole here, but a lot of people are, they're saying, oh, I saw this online and I learned this online, but actually being able to go into the studio, hands-on experience, you're talking with industry professionals and pros who know what they're doing. It's like YouTube is like a giant cloud of all this information. You know what's accurate, you don't know what is, and you can't even touch it anyways. It's like you said, it's theoretical. You don't, what do I do with all this? But then being there and talking with them, being able to ask the questions and like actually not just talk about it, but then turn around and then do it and actually be able to experience that and get the hands-on experience.
Right.
Was incredible, and it's completely game-changing, especially from a learning perspective. I'm a hands-on learner, That's, a lot
Absolutely.
of people are,
And you have to spend time on the machines, in the spaces, and I definitely think, even from a personal experience, there's some focus, creativity that is just being created in those spaces. You can't do it online or in your bedroom. You need a specific space where you can all come together to focus together and create a magic situation that only happens in those kind of spaces. It's not something you can replicate in other locations.
Well, that's absolutely right. I agree 100%. And all of these other ways of doing things are perfectly valid and very, very valuable. But there's a huge difference between a home studio and a bedroom and a world-class recording facility. That every detail of the facility, of the reflections in the room, the design, the line of sight between performers and engineers, and all of this. When that kind of thought goes into it, you end up with a completely different learning environment, just at a much higher level that, again, just previously wasn't available in our area. And to bring that into the heart of downtown Phoenix, launch a brand new program that ASU had never had popular music, and to bring the studio in with that has been a huge impact. The program has been very successful in our first 4 years. We just had some of our first full 4-year graduating classes of this program, and it continues to grow. But it's really wonderful. It's everything from performance, honing the art of writing, composing, to the audio engineering, which is where the studio comes into play, along with event production technology. And our students are side by side working in recording studios, doing sessions, and also learning PA systems and lighting programming and going out and building stages and running front of house and monitors in a live environment. So there's a lot of carryover between all of these things, but all of it is happening at once in this one program in the heart of downtown Phoenix, and it's just been a really wonderful experience to launch this and be a part of it the past 4 years.
That's really great. And do you see, as you said, the popular music program is growing? Is a facility like this bringing in students? Is it sparking the interest in such programs for the university? How has the university reacted to this facility?
The reaction has been very positive. The program has been extremely popular and is growing exponentially. I'd say one of our bigger problems is growing as fast as the program wants to, keeping up with the growth of the
Let's build another
program.
one.
Yeah, right? We need to talk about converting some of the other spaces into more
Right.
more spaces for these kinds of things. I would love that. That would be incredible. But seriously, not just the space, but also the faculty is a key component of this. Finding the right people to be in front of those classes and working hands-on with those students in all the different areas. It's very important to that we're making good decisions and bringing in incredible talent, which just this year 2.0 Clark has joined our faculty, which has been a huge lift to the program, bringing his talents in music business and his history of production and accolades and his wealth of knowledge that he's bringing to the students among all of the other faculty, and more to come in the future. Exciting things happening in the future, but it's very important to us that we're finding the right people to support this program in this, this wonderful program in this fantastic facility, so that the whole program lifts itself up and, as I said, continues to grow at the rate which the demand is there from the students who want to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
Well said.
I had a last question I wanted to ask you is, it must be very exciting to see students go through the program, learn all the gear, all the various techniques in the studio, and then follow them after they graduate and see where they get to, what they end up doing. Any particular stories that you would like to share?
Well, I'd like to hear from Mark on this, but I do want to say that, you know, I was a touring front of house engineer and a studio recording engineer 25 years ago. If someone had told me I'd be involved in higher ed at a university, I would not have been able to believe them or conceive that that was a reality. But it's one of the greatest things that's happened over the course of my career. And the reward that comes out of that is precisely what you're talking about, is seeing the students grow, achieve, and then go out into the world and start their careers. And being a part of that, we stay in contact with most of my students over the years. I'm still in contact with, and hop on the phone, talk about what they're doing, where are they out on tour, are they in Nashville in a studio working, you know, these experiences following that birth of a new generation of audio engineers in the music world. It's so rewarding to see them find success and happiness in their career and what they're doing. And again, as Mark was a student in the program, and now is, you know, we're collaborators and we work together at ASU. We had to retain his talent. We brought him into the university. So I'd love to hear about your experience going from the education side of things, graduation, going out into the world, and then ending up back at the university as a part of the team, making this happen.
Well, I mean, I don't even know exactly where to start with that, but I mean, it was an incredible experience from start to finish. I didn't exactly know like where I was going. I just knew that I needed something different and I wanted it to be music. And so I went into this program not really sure exactly what to expect. I was just trying to explore all my options and see what's available. I was really interested in recording and mixing and production and that type of stuff. And so I was really excited about the studio. But once I got into the studio, I realized that, you know, between that class and then live sound and, you know, just everything in between, there's so much more to audio than I had ever really realized. And so it opened up a whole window. And I was just like, oh my gosh. I was like, it was amazing, but I was like, I'm a little overwhelmed right now. I don't know what to do with this, where to go with this. And so, you know, eventually what was the easiest, you know, type of work to find was live sound. And so naturally I found my way into live sound, and I would just call production companies around the local area and I'd be like, hey, you guys looking for a stagehand? You know, I just got out of this live sound class with Patrick Driscoll, and, you know, I feel like I can handle this, and this. And they're like, oh, yeah, you know, sure, come on by. Well, let's see what happens. And then, you know, next thing you know, it's like, you know, one connection leads to another. And then, you know, now I graduated from the program. And as I was going to school, I was working on the weekends doing live sound gigs. And then during the week, I was still taking a lot of, after I was finished with live sound classes, I was still doing all this stuff in the studio. And so I was like seeing both sides of things, like actually working, doing live sound on the weekends. And then during the week, I'm like in the studio doing that. I mean, it was awesome.
Full circle of the
exactly.
music recording industry. Yeah.
Exactly. It's the full circle, the whole experience from both sides. It was amazing. But after I graduated, I just continued down that road of live sound because I just discovered a whole new love for that I didn't even think about. You know, it didn't even cross my mind when I went into the pop music program. And then eventually, you know, after doing that for so much time, full time after I graduated, then an opportunity came up, and Patrick reached out to me. He was like, "Hey, would you be interested in something like this?" And basically, more or less the same thing. It never really crossed my mind that I wanted to work, you know, in education. I didn't really see that as like, you know, that's where I was like headed. Like but you know, it just ended up working out, and I was just kind of going with the flow, and I found my way into it. And
you know, you just touched on a really important thing that I'd love to highlight.
Please.
It's brilliant.
Please.
It's so important what you said about coming into the program and not, you know, thinking about one direction and not realizing there were other avenues that you just weren't aware of at the time, and then finding passions for new things. This is something that is so important in education, is people often have an idea of what they might want to be doing, but they don't have the full picture yet. So providing that full picture and allowing people to kind of experiment in all these different avenues, often students find something new that they didn't even know existed. That becomes a new passion. You know, you might go into a program thinking, I want to go this direction, and end up way over here. And that's what the educational environment is really where it thrives, is allowing the students to grow and find all of these things, and then once they're fully informed, then they make decisions about, well, where do I want to go from here? And it, you know, so you touched on that, and that's a huge thing for me, because I see students on a regular basis that come in with this in mind, and they end up over here just loving what they're doing.
Yeah, like I saw the gorgeous recording studio, and I'm like, oh, that's it. And like it still is, because I love recording, you know, I always have a special place in my heart. But then I found my way into live sound, and I was like, this is awesome, this rocks. I was like, what the heck, this didn't even cross my mind. And you never know how you're going to make those connections. You're going to end up where you do. And that's what's just so weird about it, because like the outcome, you know, where I'm at now, how could I have possibly predicted?
You couldn't have planned it.
There's no way. It just
happens with these spaces and connections. And
you never know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for chatting.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure working on this project with you and with John, and launching this studio. Absolute pleasure working with all of WSDG. So thank you for everything that you've done to help us get where we are now and help with the success of the program. It's greatly appreciated, and I can't wait for the next project.
Likewise. Very excited.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.